Welcome to ETH Daily, a daily briefing on the latest in Ethereum. Here's your latest for Tuesday, June 9th, 2026. Crypto founders send a Clarity Act joint letter to Congress. Circle launches CERBTC on Ethereum, and Llama Risk proposes an Aave risk framework. All this and more starts right after this message. ETH Daily sponsorships are now open. Reach over 10,000 Ethereum native subscribers every weekday. Learn more at ethdaily.io/ads. More than 60 crypto founders and CEOs signed a joint letter to Senate Majority Leader John Thune and Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, urging the passage of the Clarity Act with its current developer protections intact. The letter specifically advocates for Section 604, Blockchain Regulatory Certainty Act. The letter argues that without the BRCA in its current form, market structure legislation will fail to provide the legal certainty developers need to build and maintain open source software. They also called on the Senate to preserve the BRCA alongside Section 601 of the Clarity Act and Section 207 of the Senate Agricultural Committee's Digital Commodity Intermediaries Act, which together draws a line between intermediated finance and decentralized protocols. Signatures included heads of Coinbase, Uniswap, Aave, Hyperliquid, Morpho, A16Z Crypto, Paradigm, Dragonfly, and others. The push came the same day that the Blockchain Association held its annual member fly-in in Washington, with members meeting across 52 Senate offices to advocate for the same legislation. Circle launched CERBTC on Ethereum mainnet, its own version of wrapped Bitcoin-backed one-to-one by native BTC held at a regulated Circle entity, segregated from its corporate assets. Each token's reserves are verifiable through Chainlink Proof of Reserve. The launch targets institutional users running BTC collateral across lending markets, OTC workflows, market making, and treasury operations, allowing native BTC to stay in custody while CERBTC circulates through DeFi. The token competes directly with Coinbase's CBBTC. CERBTC carries the same censorship vulnerability. Octant introduced a zero-knowledge vote coprocessor for its Epoch 12 quadratic funding round, built on Succinct's SP1 zkVM and designed to run trustless vote tallying without a privileged admin. Under the new system, voters will sign gasless EIP 712 ballots and submit them to a sequencer. When the round closes, all ballots are posted to Ethereum as a blob transaction. The zkVM then verifies every signature, removes duplicate votes by nonce, enforces per-voter budgets, and computes the full PQF allocation. The resulting proof is submitted on-chain and checked by a tally verifier contract. Valid results are recorded permanently and distributions become claimable directly without further action from Octant. Octant says privacy and full trustlessness are on the roadmap. And lastly, Llama Risk, an Aave DAO service provider, has proposed a risk framework to govern every asset listed across Aave v3, v4, and Aave Horizon. The framework covers onboarding, monitoring, bridging, and chain-level risk across 4 layers. It also introduces explicit veto authority that hard blocks listings when conditions aren't met. The 4 layers are asset risk for onboarding requirements, audit standards, and quarterly due diligence, bridging risk for verifier minimums, rate limits, and 24/7 incident response, automated monitoring featuring Chainlink CRE-powered freeze guardians and cap oracles, and chain risk for deployment gating based on consensus, decentralization, and maturity. In other news, Wallet Connect Pay supports ETH, and Morpho raises $175 million. This has been a roundup of today's top news stories in Ethereum. You can support this podcast by subscribing and following us at ETH Daily. Also subscribe to our newsletter at ethdaily.io.